guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be talking about a new affordable eyeshadow palette that I am very, very excited about. I've had this palette for a couple of weeks now, and I have been seriously impressed. So today I'm going to be sharing it with you guys. We'll talk about the palette, I'll show you guys some swatches, and then we'll do a couple of different looks. I'm sure that you guys are curious what the palette is, but before we jump into it, I want to welcome any new visitors to my channel. Hope that you enjoy this one. Of course, if you do, be sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe before you leave. And let's get right into the palette now. Alright you guys, so here's the palette that has my heart right now. It is the BH Cosmetics Naughty palette. This came out a couple of weeks ago at Ulta. I believe now you can also buy it on BH Cosmetics website. And as I mentioned, this is such a fun palette. You guys know that I love the BH Cosmetics eyeshadow formula. It is fantastic. I absolutely love it. And this 30-pound palette has so much variety in it, but it also has a lot of basic neutrals in here as well. I haven't quite played with everything inside here, but I have played with a lot of it and I have been really, really enjoying it. So as I mentioned, this palette has 30 shades inside it. There are 18 mattes, 10 shimmers, and 2 pressed glitters. If you are not aware, I'm not typically a fan of pressed glitters, but you guys, these pressed glitters I actually do like. They're very, very refined. Of all the different pressed glitters from different brands that I think I've tried so far, I think these are probably my favorite. The palette is $29. You can get it from Ulta's website, also the BH Cosmetics website. And I wanted to give you guys a couple of heads up. This, as you can tell, is probably going to be a limited edition palette. I don't know how long they will have this on the BH Cosmetics website. I'm assuming through the holiday season and a little bit thereafter, but I doubt it will be on there forever. I also wanted to mention that BH Cosmetics is one of the brands that has really fantastic holiday sales. So while this palette is $29 at full price, which I actually think is a fantastic price considering the amount of products you're getting inside here and the quality, but you might be able to get that price down a little bit more as the holiday season approaches and they run some of their fantastic sales. So here are some swatches of the palette so you can see how the colors and formula appear swatched on the arm. This here is the first 3 rows, the first 15 shades, and then here are the second 3 rows, the second set of 15 shades. Really great variety in here. You get good range both in the mattes and in the shimmers that you're given, which I think is amazing. And I really feel like other than maybe these 2 shades right here, which I would wear, I probably wouldn't wear them often, but other than those 2, everything else in here looks pretty neutral to me. Definitely very wearable, and you have all the basic building blocks you would need to really create any look. So for today's video, I want to show you guys what this palette is capable of. So I'm going to do 3 different looks. For the first set, I'll do a different look on each eye, and then I'll come back and do my final look on both of my eyes. I do already have the rest of my makeup on. I will link everything that I'm wearing down below, but let me go ahead and zoom you guys in and we'll get started with the first 2 looks. Alright guys, so we're going to kick things off in this little section right here. We're going to do kind of a green and peach toned look. I'm going to start off by taking this brush right here. This is from BH Cosmetics. It's their number 6. I think it's called their Pro Blending Fluff Brush. I'll link it down below for you guys, but we're going to take that into this shade, which is the shade Frosting. Really nice peachy pink, and I'm going to run that right up through and above my crease. This is a really pretty color. A little bit more of that same color just on the tip of that brush. And I'm going to run this down below my lower lash line. This brush is a little bit large for this, but I don't mind getting this color kind of spread out. Okay, now I want to build a little bit of the green up through the crease. So I'm going to take this matte green right here. This is the color Balsam. I'm picking that up on my Morphe M507 brush. I'm just going to start building this up in my crease and kind of halfway across my lid. Just going to add a little bit more to the outer corner. I'm kind of running what's left just lightly under this outer part of my lower lash line. Do you want to pull just a little bit more of that over onto my lid because we are going to top this with a shimmer, so I want some of this to kind of come through. Okay, and now I'm just going to take with my finger this shade right here. This is kind of the light green shimmer. This is the color Very Merry. And just with my finger, I'm going to press that from the inner corner halfway across my lid. Such a pretty, pretty shade. Then I'm just taking that initial brush. I don't have any more shadow on here. I'm just kind of running it around the edges to blend that out. Alright, that's it for the shadow on the first eye. We'll add liner and mascara after I do the second look. For the next look, I want to do kind of a candy cane inspired look. So we're going to use some of this red shade right here, which is a little bit more of a pinky red than it's looking on the camera. Then we'll use some of these pinks right here along with this bright shimmery white. So I wiped off my brush. We're going to start off by dipping into this kind of mauve pink right here. This is the shade Santa Baby. And I'm going to run that through my crease and onto my lid. Alright, now I'm going to build up some of this deep red right here through the outer part of my lid. This I'm assuming is going to be pretty bright and birdie pink. So if you're a little bit intimidated by bold pinks or reds like this, I'll show you guys, I think I've showed you this before, but I'll kind of mention again that when you initially put these colors on, I think a lot of people are a little bit intimidated by this. I would not probably go to the grocery store with this color all over my eyelids. No shame to those of you that would at all, but you can definitely still wear them. The trick with getting this type of a shade to kind of tone down a little bit is layering shadows. So I'm going to dip into this color right here, which is a much kind of deeper, more purpley color. This type of color, or really any type of brown, layers really nicely on top of a pink or red. It is of course going to deepen things up, but it's going to also help tone down some of that neon color right there if that's not your thing. I'm also pulling a little bit of this just under this outer corner. Alright, and now we're going to add some shimmer to the lid. So I'm going to start off by taking this color right here, which is a really light pink. It's almost an icy pink. This is the color Ornaments. I'm very lightly going to tap this across the lid. I don't want to put too much of this on because it is very bright and light. So after lightly tapping that on my lid, I'm just going to kind of feather over these edges just to pull some of that color underneath back. And kind of just go back and forth until you feel like it's as light or as dark as you want it to be. That looks really good. Now I'm just going to take this shimmery white right here. This is the color Snow Day, and I'm taking that on just a flat little brush. This is from BH Cosmetics, and I'm just going to place that right on the inner corner right here. I'm going to run just a little bit of that right across that inner part of my lid, just kind of right next to my lashes. It's almost like a white liner right there. Tap over that just so I don't have any harsh edges where those two shimmery shades meet. Alright, I think I do want to take just a tiny bit more of that deep plum color, which is the color Nutcracker, on my M507, and very lightly I'm just going to add even a little bit more depth to this outer corner. Alright, and now I do want to add a little bit more to my lower lash line. I'm going to take this little brush right here. I got this in a BoxyCharm years ago. I'm going to dip back into that initial shade, the pink Santa Baby, and I'm going to run that just lightly halfway across my lower lash line, just kind of over where I put that deeper shade. And just kind of around this edge right here, just to make sure it's nice and blended. That's looking good. I do want to add a little bit of liner. I'm just going to add liner to my upper waterline, a tiny bit along the outer part of my lash line, just a little bit of a wing. And then I'm going to add some mascara. Today I will use my Thrive Cosmetics, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright you guys, here are the first two looks finished. The green, the pink. I love them both. I did not mention I did line my entire waterline, both upper and lower, on the side with the pink, just to give it a little bit of a different look. But I hope that you guys enjoyed them both. Now we're going to wash this one off, and I will come back and we'll do the last look. Alright guys, for this last look, I'm going to start off by going into the shade right here. This is the shade Secret Santa. It's kind of a pink toned beige. And I'm going to run this all over, so up through my crease and then all over the lid. I'm going to take a little bit on that same brush and just run it down below. Alright, now we're going to add just a little bit of depth to the outer corner, and for that I'm going to take this shade down in the corner. This is the shade Brick. I'm going to run this just through this outer kind of corner or half of my lid. This is similar to the shade I used in the last look, but this one has a little bit more purple in it than like pink or red. My eyes are just a little bit watery. I just barely washed my makeup off, and I usually need some time for them to calm down. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of brown. I'm going to take this brown in this top corner right here. This is the color Yuletide. Just a warm brown, and I'm going to add that kind of over top the plum I just added, but more on kind of the inside of that lid. So I'm kind of pulling this from my outer corner to the halfway mark, just to bring a little bit of warmth. Okay, then I'm going to take that same shade and very lightly run that, the lower lash line, just kind of on top of that color, the plum that I put down there. Alright, now I'm going to take this shade at the top here, Cheers. This is just a really nice basic champagne. Now I'm just going to tap that all over the inner kind of third of my lid. And back to that small brush. There's nothing on this, I'm just going to feather this edge. Alright, now we're going to add just a little bit of sparkle to it. I'm going to take this glitter right here. This is the color Chestnuts. Let me just swatch it for you guys. Very pretty, soft, kind of rose gold glitter. And I'm just lightly going to press this all over the center of my lid. Alright, so that looks just right. I'm going to add just a little bit of liner just to the outer corner of my eye. Steer clear of my waterline because my eyes are a little bit sensitive right now. Now I'm going to add a coat of my Thrive Cosmetics mascara, then I will zoom you guys out and we will finish up with my final thoughts. Alright you guys, here is the third and final finished look. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I hope this one's not too similar to the last one I did. I feel like this one's not quite as pink. It's a little bit more of like a brown toned red. I suppose I could have gone for more of like a yellow or a blue tone, but honestly there are so many options inside this palette. The possibilities are truly endless. So I guess my final thoughts on this are what they were in the beginning. I absolutely love this palette. If you have not tried out the BH Cosmetics eyeshadow formula, I'm telling you guys it is among the best in the affordable eyeshadow category. And if you like some variety and like to play with shadow, I just think this one is so good. I do want to mention two things that I think could possibly be downsides with this palette. Number one is the size. It is very large. I know there are people out there that don't like to buy large eyeshadow palettes. I am not one of those people. I don't mind reaching for a larger palette, but I know that it can be a nuisance, especially if you travel with your palettes or really need them to be portable. This is definitely not going to be that way. Also, it does not include a mirror, and I know that can also be an issue with some people. And the last thing is just the very holiday themed packaging. Now, this isn't a huge deal to me, but knowing that I'll likely want to reach for this palette in June or July or August, I kind of wish the packaging was not quite so blatantly holiday themed, which is cute and very festive this time of year, but come July, I might wish that this was just like a solid gold or a solid red. Minor detail, but I thought I would throw that out there. But as for the shadows themselves, I have nothing to complain about. I am wild about them. The formulas are great, fantastic color range, lots of options. I mean, this is a palette I just want to like make myself a hot cup of cocoa and sit down and play with. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the looks that I came up with, and hopefully my thoughts on this palette and seeing this palette in action was helpful for you guys. But that is it for today. Thank you guys again for stopping by my channel. Hopefully you are all doing well. I want to remind you one more time, please be sure to subscribe before you leave, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye. Fantastic color range. Fantastic color range. Why can't I say this?